Welcome to our broadcasting info session. I'm Mr. Olson. I teach broadcasting. It's a course I've taught for a number of years here at Half Moon Bay High School. And in fact, I have a long time career as a broadcaster. My first career, I worked as the sports director at KNBR Radio, the all sports station here in the Bay Area. I was there for almost 15 years and got laid off, changed careers, became a teacher. Both my parents taught for a good number of years. My dad taught middle school for 43 years. My mom taught mostly first grade for 41 years. So teaching was kind of in the blood. I had done some things around education before that, so it was a natural fit. And I still work as the play-by-play broadcaster, the voice of the USF Dons men's basketball team. I call all the home and road games. I also call our home volleyball, baseball. So I have a sense of how broadcasting works, having worked in the industry for an awful long time. So let's talk about the layout of the class. The main thing the students do is that happens every time we meet is we create the news. We produce a TV newscast that goes out on YouTube. You can watch those. They're on our, there's always, the most recent one is always posted on the high school website on our homepage. You'll find the link to the most recent newscast. But the students come in. We have a little small television lab with a green screen. They assemble into their teams. We have 3 teams because we meet 3 days a week. We meet Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There's a Monday team, a Wednesday team, and a Friday team. And the team for that particular day of the week goes straight into the television lab. The script is set up. The talent student gets set in the talent position. The lights come on. We have the green screen backdrop. And the students behind the scene run teleprompter and camera, and we put the news together. Then there's another student that does the editing, and out goes the news. That usually consumes a good 25 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes of the start of our class. At that point, everybody assembles together, and we have our actual lessons. So we do run as a, I guess like a mainstream class. There's lecturing with notes, there's activities, there's assignments, there's writing things, there's unit tests, etc. The classes, I guess I'll kind of break it up into 2 semesters. The first semester, in particular, the first quarter, what the students are doing now, if you're watching this video sometime here in the fall, the students are, learning kind of about how journalism works, things about libel and slander, the ethics of media. I really want to set them up with how media works since they are newscasters in a 3-day-a-week environment. So that's really the whole first quarter, what we kind of call the rules of journalism. In the second quarter, we get into kind of a historical perspective of radio. We talk about how radio started, and it doesn't have a deep, rich history. I mean, it does, but it's not like world history that goes back thousands of years. The history of radio is the last 100 years and a little bit longer. So that's, in particular, it's kind of interesting, I think, to talk about how radio survived the arrival of television by moving and segueing solely into, not solely, but strongly into the automobile. It kind of gets us around from point A to point B. And so in the 1950s is a fun unit, I think, with the students when we talk about the rise of the disc jockey, the DJ, people like Alan Freed and Wolfman Jack, and, a bit later on, Casey Kasem, Dick Clark was in that early group. So these are all things that come up in that first semester, and we bring radio right to current day. So we'll talk about the arrival of Spotify and Pandora, and what that does to radio stations, traditional terrestrial radio. And always we're incorporating the idea of how we tell stories because that's what the students do. They begin to do person on the street segments where they go out and they interview other students, and we put those things on the news. The second semester is solely focused really on television. We do kind of a historical look at TV. I Love Lucy, it comes up in the first unit. The kids watch a lot of, television. They see a lot of snippets of things, or in some cases, very rarely, but I will on occasion, like when it comes to I Love Lucy and All in the Family, they see an entire episode of a program. And then they're talking about it, we're writing about it, we're discussing the historical impact of how that particular show may have changed TV or influenced the growth of programming. We look a lot at programming. We talk about production, how things are made. But at the same time, we're weaving in conversations about how, certain genres have changed TV. So we do end the year with a look at the internet. So it's a fun class. The kids tend to enjoy it. I always have a parent. In the old days when we did I say the old days, I hope we return to having these back to school nights in person again. But there's always a parent that says, gee, I'd love to take the class. So the students have a fun time being, news anchors, news producers, and learning about the history of radio and television. Hope to have a great year with them. And it should be a lot of fun, as always, in broadcasting.